The train's late again. It's just past midnight, and Hanamachi Station's nearly empty. The platform is washed in flickering fluorescent light, buzzing faintly overhead. A vending machine hums nearby, like it's trying to murmur something, and a torn advertisement flaps lazily in the stale air. I'm running on maybe 2 to 3 hours of sleep from the past 2 days combined. My last final wrecked me. I don't even remember what class it was. Just a blur of scantrons, caffeine, and cold sweat. Everything feels floaty now. Unreal. Like I'm stuck in a dream that forgot to end. I glance at the clock. 12:04 a.m. Close my eyes, just for a second. When I open them, she's there. Across the tracks, on the opposite platform. She wasn't there before. She stands perfectly still beneath a broken light that flickers just enough to make her edges seem wrong. Long red coat, dark shoulder-length hair. A white surgical mask covers the lower half of her face. I can't tell if she's looking at me. Then, her head tilts slightly to the side. Not the way people normally tilt their heads. Too slow. Too deliberate. Her right hand lifts, just a little, and hovers in the air, fingers twitching like they're reaching for something that isn't there. I pull out one earbud. That's when I hear her. A voice, soft and far too clear across the distance, like it's bypassing the air between us and landing straight in my ear.
You're pretty.
The words sink into me. I don't mean emotionally. It feels physical, like they settle under my skin and curl up behind my eyes. No one else reacts. There's an older woman a few benches down, with her head bowed over a plastic shopping bag, and a guy in a hoodie scrolling his phone by the far exit. No one even looks up. Just me. I blink, and she's gone. The train screeches in a few minutes later. I board and sit, eyes locked on my reflection in the window. The usual late-night blur of city lights streak past outside, but I don't see them. All I can think about is her. That mask. That voice. I keep telling myself I imagined it. Stress, exhaustion, sleep deprivation. It messes with your perception, right? But when I get home, throw my bag down and pass the hallway mirror, I pause. Something's off. I step closer and look. My reflection is delayed. A fraction of a second. Just enough to make my stomach twist. I lift my hand. My reflection follows, but late. And for a heartbeat, I see something else. Behind me. A smear of red. The edge of a coat disappearing around the corner of the hallway. I spin. Nothing. Silence. Just the hum of the fridge, the buzz of the overhead light. But the echo of her question still hangs in the back of my mind.
You're pretty.
And it's not just a memory. It's waiting for an answer. I can't stop thinking about her. The woman in the red coat, the surgical mask, the voice. I tell myself I was hallucinating. Just another casualty of zero sleep and too much caffeine. But it doesn't feel like something my brain made up. It felt inserted, like someone slipped a memory into my head that doesn't belong there. And now, she's everywhere. I start seeing her in windows, not out in the street, in the glass, like reflections that don't belong. I'll be on the train, staring blankly out the smudged window as the city blurs past, and I'll catch a flash of her standing behind me. Same red coat, same stillness, same tilt of the head. But when I turn around, she never moves. Not in the reflections. Only closer. The worst is the bathroom mirror. It starts when I'm brushing my teeth. I lean in to spit, glance up, and there she is, standing at the end of the hall behind me. Far away, but facing me. Unmoving. I whip around. The hallway's empty. I look back at the mirror. Gone. But the reflection lingers for half a second too long. Like it's catching up. Like it's thinking. I start keeping the mirror covered with an old hoodie. It doesn't help. One night, I'm half asleep and hear whispering. Just one phrase, again and again.
You're pretty. Am I pretty? Am I pretty?
Soft, measured, coming from inside my apartment. I sit up, heart pounding. I don't move. I just listen. It's coming from the closet. I don't open it. The next day, I skip class. I'm too tired to think. I tell my roommate I've got food poisoning. He just stares at me for a moment, then says, "You've been talking in your sleep, you know." What? He nods. "Last night around 3, you kept saying, 'I didn't answer,' over and over." I freeze. He frowns. "You also got something on your cheek." I touch my face. A thin red line traces down from my left cheekbone toward my lip, like a paper cut. I don't remember cutting myself. I didn't even feel it. The subway platform feels different now. Colder. Hushed. No more snoring old ladies. No more half-asleep commuters. Just me and flickering lights. And shadows that look too much like people standing perfectly still at the edge of the platform. One night, I catch my reflection in the train window again. She's not behind me this time. She's in my seat, sitting next to me, staring ahead. I don't look. It gets worse. I start dreaming about masks. Dozens of them. Surgical. Hanging from strings like wind chimes in some pitch-black hallway. Every time I turn a corner, there she is. Closer. She never says it in the dream. Never asks. She just stares. Eyes wide. Mouth hidden behind that white mask that looks damp at the edges. Like she's been breathing too hard. Or like something wet is leaking through. In the final dream, I pull the mask off her face. The skin doesn't end where her mouth should. It keeps going. She opens it wider. I wake up gasping, and my pillow's soaked with sweat. My phone buzzes. It's 2:03 a.m. There's a notification. Camera detected movement in the living room. But the thumbnail preview shows my living room couch, and someone sitting on it, wearing red. There's something in my apartment. I don't go out there. Not right away. I just lie in bed and stare at the screen, at the figure sitting on my couch, still as stone, just barely visible in the grainy dark. Red coat, white mask, head tilted. The security app glitches. The screen flickers. She disappears, then reappears closer, sitting at the edge of the frame now, facing the hallway, facing me. I grab the baseball bat I haven't touched since high school and inch into the hallway, heart thudding in my ears. Living room's empty. I check behind the couch, under it, nothing. But the air's heavy, dense, like the apartment's holding its breath. And there, on the coffee table, is something I know wasn't there before. A folded paper surgical mask, still warm. I stop riding the subway after that. Doesn't matter. I see her anyway. She stands across the street when I'm leaving class, behind the trees when I'm walking through the quad, reflected in the darkened screens of my computer lab monitors when they shut down for the night. She never moves, just watches. She's waiting for something. I think I know that. I think I know what. I'm walking home late when it happens. The streets are mostly empty. It's drizzling, and the wet pavement glows under the streetlights. My phone dies without warning. Screen just goes black, battery full. That's when I see her. Half a block ahead, just standing there under a broken streetlight. Red coat, mask, long black hair. She doesn't say anything at first. Then, across the distance, her voice floats through the wet air like breath on glass.
Am I pretty?
It's soft, but I hear it like she whispered it right into my ear. I stop. She starts walking toward me. Slow, deliberate, each step impossibly quiet on the wet pavement.
Am I pretty?
The voice is in my head now. I can feel it behind my eyes. I back away. She keeps coming. There's no right answer. I know that now. If I say yes, she shows me how much prettier she can be. If I say no, she carves a smile so I can't look away. If I run, I don't run. She stops inches in front of me. I can see her eyes now, wide, unblinking, too many eyelashes, like there's layers of them. She reaches for her mask. My breath catches, and she pulls it down. Her mouth is carved from ear to ear, too deep, too jagged, too wet. The flesh peeled back like an open wound, lips pulled into a grin not meant for smiling. But there's something else, behind the mouth. The teeth that aren't human, small and glinting and endless. She leans in, mouth stretching impossibly wide, and whispers. I don't remember getting home. I wake up the next day in my bed, face wet, shoes still on. But something's wrong. The mirrors don't work anymore. I mean, they reflect the room, the walls, the ceiling. Just not me. People don't look at me the same. Professors avoid eye contact. My roommate moved out without saying a word. And when I talk, people flinch. I've started wearing a mask. I don't remember putting it on. I just feel better when it's there. Some nights, I go back to the subway, stand on the platform, wait. Across the tracks, sometimes there's someone there, half asleep, earbuds in, too tired to notice the still figure in red. I raise my hand, slowly, tilt my head, and ask, "Am I pretty?" Some spirits follow you through mirrors. Others crawl faster than your thoughts. Don't blink. She's already halfway down the tracks. The last train home was delayed again. I'm standing alone on a tiny roll platform tucked into the mountains, wrapped in fog so thick I can barely see the tracks. The air smells like damp stone and iron. Cold bites through my hoodie, and my breath fogs the air like I'm trying to disappear into it. There's no signal here, no lights beyond the platform, just the humming of an old vending machine and the steady drip of condensation from the rusted roof above. I check the timetable again, but I already know. Next train, 42 minutes. I lean back against the bench and try not to fall asleep. That's when I hear it. Teke Teke. It doesn't sound like footsteps. It's faster, sharper, like something hard scraping across concrete. It's faint, rhythmic, coming from beyond the fog, from where the tunnel mouths are hidden. I turn toward the sound, squinting into the white void. And there's nothing. Just the tracks, fading into the fog like lines on a paper someone smudged. Then, I hear it again. Teke, Teke, Teke. Faster now. Closer. I freeze. Every hair on my arms stand up. The sound isn't just moving. It's approaching. A shadow moves in the mist. Just for a second. Low to the ground. Fast. I step back instinctively and nearly trip over the bench. My backpack hits the platform with a dull thud, and something slides out of the side pocket. A small cracked mirror and an old compact from my grandma. I keep it out of habit. She always said, keep a mirror with you at night just in case. I pick it up. In the glass over my shoulder, I see movement. A figure. Low, crawling, arms dragging behind, legs missing. Then the glass cracks completely down the middle. I spin around. Nothing. The fog's shifting, curling toward me like it's alive. I back up to the edge of the platform and catch something smeared on the window of the emergency phone booth near the stairs. Dark red streaks. 4 fingers, human-sized. The drag of a thumb trailing behind. There's a sound in the distance again. Teke, 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 teke. Too fast. Too close. I grab my bag, nearly drop the mirror, and run. Down the stairs, across the road, toward the bus stop that doesn't come after dark. I don't care. The sound follows me, closer than it should be. I don't stop running until I'm halfway down the mountain road, lungs burning, throat raw. When I finally dare to look back, the platform's gone, swallowed by fog. And in the stillness, I swear, I hear something whisper, "Not finished yet." I don't remember getting home. I woke up on my bedroom floor with dirt on my shoes and gravel on my palms. The cracked compact mirror was in my hand, shards held together by rusted hinges. My backpack had leaves in it. One of the straps was torn. I must have blacked out, or ran too far and forgot how I got here. Or maybe something else brought me back. I told myself I was imagining it. Stress, lack of sleep, too much time spent in hospitals with that sterile air and beeping machines, and the smell of rubbing alcohol. Visiting my grandmother always left me feeling strange, like time slowed down in those pale green rooms. But then, the knocking started. Not on the door, not on the walls, under the floorboards. At first, it was faint. Tapping, like fingers or nails, or maybe just water somewhere in the pipes. Then, on the third night, it changed. Teke Teke, Teke Teke, Teke Teke. Soft, measured, familiar, coming from under my bed. I didn't sleep that night. In the morning, I found my bedroom window open. I never open it. On the windowsill, something had been placed carefully, deliberately. A child's sock, torn, stained, dried blood crusted along the hem. And beneath it, a vertebrae. Human, maybe. Too smooth, too pale. It had a hairline crack down the center, like it had been split and glued back together. Things start going missing. My shoes, the sweater I left draped over the chair, the scissors from my desk drawer. Then, things start appearing. Half a rib, a broken fingernail still attached to the scrape of flesh. Something small and round that I didn't want to identify, but looks like an earlobe. All placed gently, always at the edge of my vision. Never in the same spot twice. She's giving me pieces. I start remembering the story we were told as kids. The one we whispered at sleepovers to try and scare each other. About the girl who fell onto the tracks. About how the train split her in half. And they say she crawls now, dragging herself by her arms. Fast. Faster than anything she'll move without legs. They called her Teke Teke, after the sound her elbows made on the ground. If you see her, you run. But if you don't make it, she cuts you in half. I think that was the old version. The one before she started collecting. I dream of her every night now. A torso, headless and twitching, dragging itself in circles across the wooden floors of a house I don't recognize. Hands bloody, elbows worn down to exposed bone. It doesn't look at me. It feels me. It whispers in a voice that doesn't belong to a mouth. Almost done. It crawls past piles of bones and discarded limbs, pauses, turns slightly, and says, "Just need one more." I always wake up sweating, arms numb, my spine aching like something was pulling at it while I slept. Last night, I opened my closet and found the rest of my mirror. Not just cracked, shattered, but in the glass, for just a second before it all crumbled, I saw her reflection, legless, stitching something together in the dark. It looked like a person. It looked like me. I haven't slept in 3 days. Every time I close my eyes, I feel her. Not see, feel. The scrape of elbows on wood, the tap of bone against bone, that rhythmic pulse that isn't quite a sound anymore. It's inside me now. A heartbeat that isn't mine. Teke, 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 teke. I hear it in the pipes, in the radiator, in the silence between my own breaths. She's getting closer. The mirror's gone. Everyone in my apartment, cracked or shattered. But sometimes, I still see her. Where reflections used to be. In dark windows, on my laptop screen when it boots up. The faint suggestion of red smearing across glass. Something crawling. Always crawling. She doesn't move when I watch. Only when I look away. This morning, I found a note under my door. No writing. Just an item folded inside. A spinal disc. Smooth. Fresh. Still warm. It's mine. I don't know how I know, but I do. My back aches constantly now. My legs tremble when I walk. I think she's already started taking what she needs. little by little, like she's easing me into it. I go back to that station where it all started. The fog's heavier this time, thicker. It doesn't just hang in the air, it presses against me. And beneath it, I hear her. Teke Teke, Teke Teke, Teke. Faster. I run, even though it's useless. I don't know where the platform ends, or if I'm even on it anymore. The world is just white and gray, and noise. Then, something catches my ankle. I fall hard, taste blood. And she's there. No warning, no screams, no burst from the shadows. Just presence. A body that's wrong. Torso dragging across the ground, bones exposed, skin torn where it's split. Hair matted, soaking wet, sticking to the concrete like veins. Eyes missing. But I know she's looking at me. There's a grin carved into what's left of her face. In her skeletal hands, she holds pieces. Bones, fingers, organs, other people. Maybe pieces of herself. All shaped, arranged, lovingly assembled into the shape of a body. My body. She pulls herself closer, elbows clicking on the concrete. Almost finished. Her voice is wet, hollow. I try to crawl backward, but my arms won't work. They're too heavy, numb. She presses a hand to my back, fingers slipping beneath skin like it's paper, looking for something, testing for fit. Just need your spine. I scream. I wake up in the hospital. At least, I think it's a hospital. Everything's white, blinding, clinical. There's no one around. I try to move. Nothing below my neck responds. A machine clicks behind me. Something mechanical, sharp. Teke Teke, Teke Teke. I'm not alone. A figure in red scrubs enters the room. Surgical mask. No eyes. Just empty sockets. A clipboard in one hand. She tilts her head at me. We'll finish you now. They didn't want to rebuild themselves. They wanted to rebuild me. And now, I'm the one who's incomplete. You escaped the tracks, but rivers don't chase you. They invite you in. Let's take a look at what's just beneath the surface. The river showed me a life I never lived. The map said the trail ended 2 kilometers back, but I kept walking. I didn't come out here to follow signs. I came to forget them. Had a breakup. 4 years gone in a single conversation. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just packed a bag, left my phone off, and drove north until the road turned to gravel. Now, I'm here. Somewhere nameless. Too quiet. Surrounded by trees that don't care about me. I should have turned back when the path thinned out, but something told me to keep going. And then, through the trees, I saw it. An old bridge. It stretches over a narrow river, covered in moss, and cracked like it's grown out of the woods itself. The water below moves slow. Too slow. Like it's thinking. There's no sounds other than the birds, the wind, and my own heartbeat. I step onto the bridge. Everything goes quiet. No wind, no bird song. Even my breathing feels muffled. It's peaceful, but not in a normal way. Like peace after something violent. I glance over the side. The river's dark but smooth. The kind of smooth that mirrors perfectly. I see the sky, the trees, then something else. I lean in closer. My reflection looks wrong. Not in the usual way. No distortion, no weird shadows. But my face is smiling. I'm not. I lean back. The smile vanishes. I glance around. No one on the path. No one in the trees. Stillness. I kneel and touch the water. It's ice cold. But for a moment, I swear, I feel another hand press against me. Not from the surface, from beneath. I yank back. The water ripples, but doesn't distort the reflection. It still shows me, smiling. A voice drips up from the water under the bridge. Childlike, calm, close. Why did you leave them? My breath catches. I take a step back. Who's there? No response. Just the sound of water lapping gently against stone. Then, a giggle. Small. Wet. You looked happier before. I spin around. No one. And then, I hear it again. Closer this time. Come see. I back off the bridge and walk away without looking back. I don't stop until I reach a clearing. I sit down, catch my breath, tell myself I imagined it. I take a sip of water, wipe the sweat off my face, and finally calm down enough to glance back at the river from a distance. It's still there, still quiet, but the reflection's changed. Now, instead of trees and sky, it shows someone standing on the bridge. Someone with my face, smiling wider. I come back the next day. I tell myself it's curiosity. I need to prove that I'm not losing it. But deep down, I know it's more than that. I couldn't stop thinking about the reflection. That smile. Not just mine. Better than mine. Like a version of me that never learned how to hurt. I try to hike a new route. Turn off before the bridge. But no matter how many trails I take, I end up at the same place. The river. Still. Silent. Smiling. The voice returns before I reach the bridge. Back again? It's clearer now. Less childlike. More amused. I look around, half expecting a trick of acoustics. Someone hiding. Then, I see it. Sitting on the edge of the riverbank. Legs in the water. Small. Greenish. Vaguely human in shape. Wrinkled skin like river stones. A shell on its back. Thin fingers steepled together politely. Its head is flat on top. Like a bowl. Filled with shimmering liquid that never spills. Its smile is wide. Too wide. You remembered the way. I don't move. What are you? Kappa. It says. But you knew that, didn't you? The word hits something in me. I remember stories, half-whispered things from childhood. Creatures in the water that bow politely, that love cucumbers, that pull people under by their guts. I never believed in them. Until now. I'm dreaming. Not yet. Its voice is pleasant, patient, like it's been waiting a long time for someone to speak with. It gestures to the river. Would you like to see something better? Better than what? Than what you remember. I laugh, sharp and bitter. You think I want to remember? No, it says gently. I think you want to change it. The water starts to ripple. Not like before. Not like wind or current. It shifts. I see myself on a familiar street, laughing, hand in hand with someone I know too well. My ex. Except we're not fighting. We're smiling. Still together. I see the apartment we never got. The trip we never took. The goodbye that never happened. It's a perfect memory. Except I never lived it. This is what could have been, the Kappa says. You just forgot how to reach it. The more I stare, the more real it feels. I can almost feel the warmth of that memory. The weight of her hand in mine. The sound of her laugh. You can come back anytime, it whispers. Each time, I can show you more. It dips a long finger into the water. The surface flashes with new images, childhood memories, People I haven't seen in years. Versions of my life that feel right. The Kappa smiles at me. Of course, everything has a price. I don't ask. I already feel it. My fingertips are cold. My feet are wet. But I never stepped into the river. When I leave that day, my backpack feels lighter. When I got home, I realized my phone is gone, and my knife, and the photo I kept tucked in my wallet, all vanished. I return the next morning. I don't mean to, but I wake up with wet hair and dirt on my knees, and a perfect new memory waiting for me in my dreams. The river's inside me now, and the Kappa, he's taller. I don't remember deciding to come back. I just wake up on the path. The woods are quiet again. Too quiet. The kind of quiet that buzzes in your ears, like the world's holding its breath, and you're the only thing left making noise. My clothes are damp. My shoes are full of mud. My wrists are bruised where something held me. But I don't turn back, because I want to see it again. The Kappa waits by the water like it never left. It's changed. Taller now. Leaner. Less childlike. The features are sharper. Eyes darker. The bowl on its head is deeper. The liquid inside swirls slowly, like something is stirring beneath the surface. It doesn't greet me this time. It just gestures me to the river.
She still loves you here.
It says. I look, and I see her again, sitting beside me, laughing, our fingers laced together. No fights, no silence, just warmth. I feel it again, real, not remembered. The weight of that life I never got to live. I take a step toward the water.
Just a little further.
The Kappa whispers. The water pulls at me like a warm breeze, inviting, soft, familiar. I kneel at the edge. My reflection stares back at me, happy, whole-healed. Then it smiles, wider than it should, too wide, and it waves. I stumble back. The Kappa doesn't move.
You saw what you wanted.
It says.
You fed it. It fed you back.
My hands are shaking. What did you take from me? It tilts its head, polite, curious.
Pieces.
Give them back!
They're not yours anymore.
I look down at my hands. They're not shaking. They're still. Too still. And I realize I can't feel my fingers. Or my feet. I try to run. The trail should be behind me. But the trees are gone. There's only river. Endless. Still river. The sky's gone. The sound of water fills my ears like pressure. Like depth. And somewhere beneath it, I hear the Kappa's voice.
You wanted to be someone else.
The surface breaks. Hands. My own hands reach out from beneath, grab my ankles and pull. I claw at the bank, dirt under my nails. I scream. No one hears, because the river is already inside my lungs. When I open my eyes, I'm walking back down the mountain trail, dry, smiling. People pass me on the way up, and I nod politely. They don't see it, how deep the water goes behind my eyes. They don't see the wet footprints I leave behind, or the green fingers resting lightly on my shoulder. The river gave me a new life, and it only cost me the one I had. The river gave you what you wanted, but the forest gives you what you ask for, whether you meant to or not. I told everyone I needed a reset. No service, no people, just trees, fire, and silence. It was a 2-hour hike from where I parked, the kind of trail where the ground swallows your footprints and the canopy swallows the sky. The deeper I went, the quieter the world got, until I could hear my heartbeat in my ears and the soft crunch of pine needles under every step. When I found the clearing, It felt perfect. Flat earth, dry space, a ring of stones already waiting for a fire, and someone who had already built one. I stopped cold when I saw her. She was sitting by the fire, long black hair spilling over one shoulder, feeding twigs into the flames like she'd been doing it forever. She didn't look startled or confused, just like she'd been expecting me. "Didn't think anyone else came out this far," I said. She looked up, smiled. "I could say the same about you." I should have asked more questions. Should have wondered why there was only one tent, why she didn't have a pack, or shoes, or any gear I could see. But instead, I sat down when she offered me a spot by the fire. She introduced herself. Her voice was soft, melodic, a little old-fashioned, like she wasn't from around here. We talked for hours about work, the city, loneliness. She didn't say much about herself, but she listened. God, she listened. Like every word I said mattered. The fire crackled. The woods whispered. And I felt good for the first time in months. That night, I crawled into my tent and lay awake, grinning at nothing. I don't even know why. She was just a stranger, right? But something about her stuck in my chest. Around 2 a.m., I woke to a strange noise outside. Clicking. Not footsteps, not animals. Just clicking. Rapid, sharp, like fingernails on bark. I unzipped the tent slowly. She was there, sitting by the fire again, still smiling. "You okay?" I asked. She tilted her head. The firelight danced in her eyes. "Just couldn't sleep," she said. "The woods feel different tonight." I nodded, pretending like I understood, but the fire behind her hissed like it didn't. The next morning, I found something strange. My boots were moved, my pack was open, and a few of my energy bars were missing. Nothing major, just off. I asked her about it, joking. She smiled again. "You must have done that in your sleep." Then she handed me a cup of tea I didn't remember her making. The forest around us looked brighter that day, more alive. The birds were louder. The sun was softer. The breeze carried the smell of flowers I didn't recognize. It felt like paradise. But the fire pit wasn't warm, and the ashes were undisturbed, like it had never burned at all. I stopped checking my watch around day 3. Not because I lost track of time, because time stopped making sense. The sun rose too slowly, set too early. Sometimes it was midday for what felt like hours, light filtering through the trees in golden strands that hung still, like cobwebs in the air. She said it was the altitude, the forest, the peace. "You're relaxing," she told me, brushing something from my shoulder that I didn't see. "Finally." I smiled and nodded like I believed her, because part of me did, or wanted to. Little things kept changing. The forest trail we used for firewood felt shorter each time we walked it. Once, it turned into a loop that brought us right back to the camp without ever turning around. My tent moved one morning, about 10 feet to the left where I had set it up. I found strands of something sticky on the zippers, thin and almost invisible, like the thread from fishing line, only stronger, tougher. When I touched it, it clung to my fingers. I started having dreams. Long corridors of wood and silk, sounds behind me, soft clicking, like feet that weren't quite feet moving across walls. In the dreams, she walked ahead of me, always just out of reach. "I'll show you something," she said, voice echoing. "I think you're ready." One morning, she woke me early. "Come on," she said, her eyes brighter than I'd ever seen them. "There's a place deeper in." I followed her. No pack, no phone, just the two of us. The forest grew taller around us, but the trail was clearer now, like something had carved it out just for us. Eventually, we came to a tree so massive I couldn't see the top. Its trunk was covered in soft white threads, thick as rope, crisscrossed like a net that shimmered in the light. She looked up at it with reverence. "This is where I live," she whispered. "I wanted you to see it." That night, I dreamed again, but this time, I didn't wake up when I was supposed to. I opened my eyes to a blur of silk, not sheets, not a tent, a web. I was cocooned, tight, paralyzed from the chest down. My mouth wouldn't open. Across me, swinging gently in another bundle of silk, was a face. My face. Eyes empty, skin grayed, mouth open in a silent scream. The web swayed gently, and above us was her. Not walking, not smiling, hanging. A woman from the waist up, a spider from the waist down. Legs like polished bone arched around the nest. Her hair trailed like web. Her smile was gone, but her eyes were the same. Still gentle, still watching me like I was something beautiful, and hers. I awoke screaming. The camp was empty. My boots were gone. My pack, gone. The fire was cold, and the trees around me had shifted. They weren't trees anymore. They were pillars, wrapped in silk. I ran, barefoot, no direction, just away. The forest didn't make sense anymore. Trees bent toward me as I passed, branches low and reaching. The trail splits, then vanishes entirely. I trip over roots I could have sworn weren't there seconds ago. Every time I stop to catch my breath, I hear it. Click, click, click. Above me, not footsteps, legs. They scrape across bark and stone and each other. Soft at first, then louder, closer. I don't look up. I can't. At some point, I find the clearing again. The fire pit is still there, untouched. So is the tent. And so is she. Sitting by the cold fire, hands folded neatly in her lap, smiling like she'd never left. "You look tired," she says. I don't answer. My throat is raw. "You should rest." She stands, steps toward me with that slow, fluid grace that always seemed a little too perfect. Only now, it isn't perfect anymore. Her steps don't touch the ground. They hang, suspended. I take a step back, but my feet sink into the soil like it's turned soft. Sticky. The grass is threaded with silk. It winds around my ankles before I even realize it. "I wanted you to be happy," she says, her voice still soft, still sweet. "You came here to feel better. You said you wanted peace." She gestures to the trees, the clearing, the sky. Everything glows. Beautiful. Dreamlike. "You're the one who stayed," she says. "I just wanted to give you what you wanted." I fall. My legs don't work right anymore. I can feel the threads working through my skin, inside me, weaving something I can't see. I scream, but no sound comes out. Her face is close now, inches away. Half of it is still her. The other half splits open, revealing a second set of mandibles twitching beneath her jaw. "I'll make it last," she whispers. And then the world tilts. I'm lifted, weightless, spun gently upward into the trees. The clearing fades. The sky closes. And above me, Silk. Endless, pale silk stretched like a ceiling. And just before the last light disappears, I hear her voice again. Don't look up. But I do. And she's already there, watching, smiling, and beginning to feed. You ran from the web. Now let's see if you can survive the snow. But careful. Some doors don't close behind you. The drive up was fine. Snow started falling an hour outside the nearest town, but I've done worse. The rental company said the generator was full, the woodpile stacked, the satellite Wi-Fi iffy, but enough to check emails. I didn't even care. I wasn't there to scroll. I was there to write, to finish something. The cabin was small, but perfect. One room, one bed, a little stove, desk by the window. No neighbors, no traffic, no distractions. Just trees, snow, and silence. The first day passed easy. I unpacked, lit a fire, made tea. Typed maybe 1,000 words, just clearing the pipes. Night fell fast. The storm moved in harder than expected. Dense white swallowing the trees by 6 p.m. The windows frosted over. Wind howled like it was trying to find a way in. But inside, it was warm, safe. Around midnight, the power cut. Lights blinked out. The heater clicked twice, then went dead. I wasn't surprised. Mountain weather always wins eventually. I grabbed a flashlight, pulled on boots and a jacket, and stepped out to check the generator behind the cabin. The wind hit like a wall, needles of cold against my skin. And that's when I saw her, just past the edge of the trees, maybe 20 feet out, standing completely still. A woman in white, long black hair, bare feet, a thin robe that moved gently in the wind, but she didn't. She didn't flinch, or sway, or shiver. She didn't seem real. My first thought was mannequin, some idiot hiker prank. Second, a trick of the snow. I stepped forward, then blinked, and she was gone. No sound, no movement, no tracks in the snow, just wind and the creak of trees. I stood there way too long, watching where she had been, waiting for something. A laugh, a footstep, a shift in shadow. But nothing came. I turned the generator back on, walked inside, and locked the door. Back at the desk, I tried to write. I managed 3 sentences, none of them good. Eventually, I gave up, rolled under the blanket. The fire had burned low. I stared at the window across the room. It had stopped frosting. Because it was open, not cracked. Open, wide enough for someone to step through. I didn't sleep after that. I closed the window, lock it, push the desk in front of it just to be sure. The fire's low, but I don't want to open the door again. So, I sit, wrapped in a blanket, staring at the glass. Nothing happens. Not that night. But I don't sleep. The next morning, everything looks normal. Almost. Snow piled up against the cabin walls, high enough now to bury the steps. The sky's a flat, pale gray. I don't hear any birds or wind. It's quiet. The kind of quiet that hums in your skull after a sound cuts out. I check around the cabin just to prove to myself that I'm fine. There's nothing in the snow. No tracks. Not from me. Not from her. Not from anything. I keep telling myself it was a dream. A sleep-deprived hallucination. Too much stress. Cabin fever. Even though I've only been here 2 days. But that night, She's back. I don't see her at first. I just feel it. The shift in the air. Like someone's watching. I lift my eyes from the screen, and there she is, across the snow. Closer now. Just outside the line of trees, standing in the exact same position. Same long robe, same hair fluttering in the wind, same stillness. Except now, she's turned slightly toward the cabin, toward me. I turn off the lamp, crouch behind the desk. Wait. Watch. She doesn't move. I check the windows again. Locked. Frosted over except for the one I'm watching through. I sit there until the fire dies, and she never moves. By morning, she's gone. I step outside with my boots on and check. Still, no tracks. But the snow by the window is lower than it should be. Like something stood there for a while. Like the warmth of a body melted it. Just enough to leave a dip. I board up the windows that afternoon. All of them. Tear the desk apart and use drawers for extra wood. Hammer in the nails I find in the shed. Shut every blind. I write a few lines to distract myself. Something about a man trapped in a cabin, writing stories he doesn't remember starting. When I look again, the page is full. Paragraphs I don't remember typing. Descriptions of a woman in white. The way her breath doesn't fog in the cold. The sound her bare feet make as they don't crunch the snow. That night, I wake up freezing. There's snow on the floor. Wind where there shouldn't be wind. And the softest whisper I've ever heard. She's not at the window anymore. She's closer. And I can't find where the voice is coming from. I don't leave the cabin anymore. There's no point. The snow hasn't stopped in 3 days. I can't see the trees anymore. Just white. Endless white. Like the world has been erased. And the cold's different now. It's not outside. It's inside. In the floorboards, the mattress, the paper. Me. I stopped trying to keep the fire going. It doesn't help. The flames burn, sure, but they don't give off heat. It's like something sucking it out of the room faster than I can feed it. I sleep in bursts, wrapped in everything I own. Blankets, towels, my coat. I dream of her voice now. Always soft. Always distant. It's warmer out here. The writing keeps happening without me. Every time I check my notebooks, it's full of things I didn't write. Scenes, memories, dialogues I've never lived. Descriptions of her, so vivid, it feels like I'm reading someone else's obsession. But the worst is the date. The last entry I remember writing was 3 days ago. The notebook says today is February 12th. It was the 4th when I got here. I've lost 8 days. There's snow in the kitchen now. Just a light dusting across the table, over the stove, like it fell through the roof. But the ceiling's dry. No leaks. It melts when I touch it. But the chair across from mine stays cold all night. Like someone sits there when I'm not looking. Last night, I heard the doorknob turn. Not rattle. Turn. Slow. Careful. Testing. I didn't breathe. I didn't move. I just watched it from the floor, clutching the fireplace poker like it could do anything. The knob stopped. And then, I saw it. Not her. Her shadow. Sliding across the window like it was made of smoke. No footsteps. No frost. Just a woman's shape. Tall. Still. Smiling. This morning, I found a handprint on the inside of the glass. No other marks. Just that. Fingers long and perfectly spaced, pressed gently against the window. It hadn't melted. It didn't even frost over. It's just there, like it belongs. And I can't feel my hands. My lips are numb. My breath is slow. But I'm not scared anymore, because I know she's not coming in. She's already here. And maybe he always was. I woke up on the floor this morning. No blanket, no fire, just snow. Not a drift, not a patch, a layer, white and perfect, spread across the entire cabin like a fresh coat of paint. I can see my breath, but I can't feel it. My body's stopped warning me. I move like I'm underwater, slow, detached, like I'm watching someone else crawl across the floor to check the window. The handprint's still there. Only now, there are two. I burned everything. The notebook, my drafts, the maps, the guidebook, all of it. I thought maybe if I erased the story, it would erase her too. The fire roared like it mattered again for the first time in days. But when it died down, the ashes were gone, and the pages were back on the desk. Neat, unburned, but rewritten, word for word. She stands in the snow and waits. She always waits. Until the cold is quiet. Until you stop struggling. Until you love the silence as much as she does. There's snow in my lungs. I cough and it rattles like glass. I bleed cold. My fingernails are blue. My breath fogs the mirror. But it's not my reflection. He just stares back. Still. Frost clinging to his eyelashes. And for a second, I think I see her standing behind him. Closer now. Always getting closer. I opened the door an hour ago. There was no wind, no sound. Just her, standing on the porch. She didn't knock, didn't speak. She just smiled. I should have shut the door. I meant to. But instead, I stepped aside, and she came in. She doesn't walk like a person. She floats across the floor, over the melted snow, moving through the cabin like it belongs to her. She kneels beside me. Her fingers are ice, but I don't flinch when she touches my face. Because the warmth is gone. Because I gave it to her. Because she asked for nothing, and she still took everything. I don't feel scared. I feel tired. Like all the noise in my head is finally gone. Like she reached inside and quieted me. She leans in, her lips near mine, and she breathes out. A week later, a ranger snowshoeing through the valley spots the cabin, door wide open. Inside, a small fire still smoldering, a chair overturned, a cup of tea frozen solid, and snow layered across the floor like it fell there naturally. No signs of struggle, no blood, no prints. Just one thing on the windowsill, a perfect handprint in frost. If you made it this far, you're colder than you were when we started. Don't forget to follow the show wherever you listen. Leave us a 5-star rating on Spotify. It helps us stay alive out here. And if you want bonus stories every month, you can support us with the link in the description and keep this show alive. Until next time, leave the door locked and don't look out the window after dark.